So here we are, Saturday morning. This is our what if weekend, so private booking. Rather than fight the standard historical battles, we've come up with a scenario. So the battle is featured around the town of Magdeburg, or city of Magdeburg, not sure if it's a city, then it might have been. And essentially, we're trying to give a campaign feel to the length of the game, or the whole duration of the game, where we have reinforcements arriving regularly. There may be some delay, so we're rolling dice to see if they will turn up. At the beginning of the game has actually had a choice of corps that they could bring along. So, for example, there were 8 French corps and a guard corps to choose from for the 4 players on the French side. So they choose 1 corps each, and that's broken down into 2 divisions per corps. There are some additional benefits depending on the command structure they choose, and they have a number of command points that are generated somewhat randomly. They get pluses because it's obviously Napoleon, and they roll a dice and add those together. Those command points allow them to create additional divisions, such as an elite grenadier division, or, for example, an option where they can inflict a low on ammo on an enemy battery. So they use those command points wisely. That's for the whole game, so they don't necessarily happen on day 1, day 2, etc. That's for the whole game. And they can use them at any point, so they can hang on to it, or the decisions they make with reinforcements, etc. will impact the game as they arrive. So the Allies were in a little bit more of a predicament. The Allies had the same choices with various corps, but they also had nationality. And the difference in nationalities meaning that we didn't allow them to communicate. So we had Prussians, Russians, in this case Saxons and British, and the British have an expeditionary force. They've brought along, there's also a Swedish contingent, so we've got a right old mix, and not allowing them to communicate meant that they made their choices independently. So a result in that case meant that this part of the Allied line ended up with only just 1 regiment of light cavalry. You can see we've got a Prussian cavalry corps come on at the end there, but the only thing in the middle here on this 12-foot of table was 1 regiment of light cavalry. That's to start with. So the reinforcing divisions, whether they choose them to be early or late, influences the arrival time, so it's harder for them to get them to turn up if they choose a better formation later earlier in the day. It means there's just a little bit of a feel to it, as much as a campaign feel, rather than using a map as such and doing all the map moves and then converting it to the table in the time that we have available. So they're playing for 4.5 days. So Friday was the first bit. We're going to play until Tuesday. I'll be doing some updates. It may be that we finish this battle come late Saturday or Sunday and we'll turn it round. So you guys get a chance to put things right, or do things better as an opposition player. So I hope that's a little bit informative, short of sharing the documents with you, which I might do later, but certainly give you some more insight to how the campaign field works later in the weekend. Thanks for listening.